I would like to know what is the current status of the petition filed by the Kogi Central Senator following the fiery investigative hearing that we saw by the Ethics and Privileges Committee.
Well, thank you so very much for this yet another opportunity for us to clear the air on all these dramas being done by Senator Natasha and her cohort. In the first place, like I said in the first interview I granted here, there was no case of sexual harassment. What happened was that Senator Natasha's seat was reallocated, and probably before then, her committee, was reshuffled, just like other committees. So, being somebody who is there to serve her personal interests, she got offended and started abusing the Senate President. So, the petition, as it stands today, has been adjourned sine die, because the matter is pending before a court of competent jurisdiction. And by our rules, when a matter is before the court, the Senate respects the court. So we believe that the position of the court should be superior to the resolution of the Parliament, going by principle of separation of power. So, talk, they say, is cheap. It's cheap for you to put up an allegation, but when you are called upon to defend same, you will now know whether the allegation is true or not. Senator Natasha, before now, has been using this form of blackmail to witch hunt prominent Nigerians upon any difference she has with such people. The most popular is the case of Reno Mokri, the former essay to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, our former president. She accused a young man of sexual harassment. But as God will have it, the young man on the said date of the sexual harassment was there in the United States of America. So when the man brought his evidence that he was not even in Nigeria, she had to apologize and pay damages to the man. I can name 3 instances. Even when she was in school, she did it to a lecturer. When she was caught, doing funny things in exam hall, she tried to blackmail the lecturer. But upon investigation, it was discovered that this lady is lying. Now,
distinguished, we are not concerned about...
No, I'm trying to lay a background.
To establish the case that's on ground. So, what is the current state of that petition?
The current state of the petition is that the matter has been adjourned sine die. Even though our rule says so, but the committee wanted to hear them, to see, because the committee is an independent body that can summon anybody, including the Senate President. And that is why we are all there to defend the Senate President. And you saw the drama that happened that portrayed the fact that these people didn't come to defend their claim. They didn't come to prove their claim. They came to create content. You can see from the beginning of the proceedings, her petitioner was called, to add flesh to the allegation, because they filed about 30-paragraph affidavit, trying to prove the sexual allegation. So when they were asked to be on oath, they refused to be on oath. Obi refused to be on oath. Her lawyer that was talking here refused to be on oath. And she is a lawyer. She understands the meaning of being on oath. Because if you are on oath and you lie, you can be charged for perjury. So they know very well that what they are proving did not exist. And that's why they were very careful not to take that oath. Because if they have taken that oath and did what they did, by now they should be in prison.
Now, distinguished,
yeah.
Let me just come up with this. Part of your rules is that once a case is in court,
exactly,
you will not sit on that matter.
Yes.
It's also, people said that you got the notice, the court notice, that the case was already filed in court, even before that day.
Yes.
Why did you have to call for that meeting when
that
you knew
was,
the case? Let me just finish with the questions. Yes. I have 2 questions in one. Yes. Why did you have to call?
Let me take it one by one.
Okay.
Why we did that is that we cannot believe on hearsay. It was when the committee was served with the processes of the court that we met and said, okay, this is the position of the matter. The committee cannot rely on hearsay that the matter was in court. The committee was served that day. And we said, well, going by what is before us, we may not continue. But in law, at times we keep technicalities aside and go to the merit of a case. Even though a judge will say that by preliminary objection, a matter cannot go on. But to avoid doubt, the judge can still entertain the matter and say, supposing but we can't concede, Supposing the court has jurisdiction to hear this matter, this would have been the position, but the court has jurisdiction to hear the matter, so that no party will say that the court is biased or they were not fully treated. That is why the committee sat and tried to hear from them, even knowing very well that we can't go further in that, but we wanted to hear them, so that the public, because what they are taking before the public is that the Senate committee don't want to hear the matter, because the matter is true, the allegation is true. So, but the allegation is not true. I am a live witness. I was the closest person to Senator Natasha on the said date of 8th December 2023. I rode in the same vehicle with her, with the husband. I was in front of the vehicle. She and the husband was at the back of the vehicle. As a matter of fact, I'm a friend to the husband. So we went to Akpabio's house. Akpabio received us with his wife, with his children, and took us around and entertained us. We left. There was never a time the Senate President had private chat with Natasha. There was never a time Senate President held her hand and said what she alleged. That never happened. It's just a mere fabrication to bring down the image of the Senate President. And that is why people like us are speaking on top of our voice to let the whole world know that Senator Akpabio is innocent of all this trash. And Senator Natasha knows this very well. She knows what she's doing. But unfortunately, like I said yesterday, why we are fighting this matter to stand still is to stop this same woman from victimizing another Nigerian politician.
Okay.
Well, Senator...
Not just because of Senator Akpabio.
Senator
but this is going to be her last bus stop.